Opening credits. High-performance sports skill instruction, training, and coaching. 9 principles for athletes to flow and get in the zone. Written by Ddj Publishing, J.D. DeLeon. Narrated by James Jackson. Introduction. Are you a pro athlete in the making, but don't know how to make your way to the next level of your performance? Do you have all the talent required to excel in your sport, but have no clue on how to hone your body and train your mind to the level needed to compete at the highest of levels? Well, I've got some great news for you, because that's exactly what I'm going to coach you through in this book. There's a powerful way to learn complicated motor skills that isn't covered in the traditional methods of coaching. This way embraces the power of not only the body, but also of the mind, to make full use of the powerful biological system that is the human being. It allows us to flow our way into the zone of peak performance, enabling us to learn and excel as athletes, as well as in all areas of our lives. And this is the breakthrough process I'll be coaching you through in this book. By covering 9 different principles for improving and excelling as an athlete, we'll go on a learning journey of how to perform at the highest levels for your chosen sport. Through these potent principles, you'll gain a thorough understanding of the potential that we humans possess. And as we develop your knowledge and skills, you'll learn how to trust in not only your own physical capabilities, but how to tap into the unlimited potential of our subconscious minds as you develop the ways and means to automate your motor movements, enter into the flow state, and get into the zone of peak performance in every practice game or competition. The best news is that these principles are universal and can be applied to any and every sport, whether played individually or as a team. They are also relevant to every sports person, whether they are a beginner or well on their way to reaching the level of a professional athlete. You have the power within you to achieve great things. Let me show you how. Without further ado, let's dive right on into the way to become the pro athlete that both you and I know you are destined to be. Chapter 1. The Big Problem. When it comes to learning the skills that are needed to become a pro at a sport or to take your game to the next level, there's a common problem that most people fall victim to. This misconception stems from the belief that meticulously and accurately defining the mechanics of a physical skill is the best way to learn it and reach higher levels of performance. This is the way that most of us are instructed when learning and improving a skill. But as logical and reasonable as this approach may seem, it can cause much less progress than you expect and far more headaches than you deserve. Let me tell you why. The key flaw in this way of learning new skills comes from its mechanical approach to defining how the human body works. We are not clunky contraptions of scrap metal, and as much like a supercomputer as our brains may be, they're not computers. In fact, our brains are far more powerful. Many studies done on skills acquisition have shown that the learning and performance process is far more automatic, if not natural, when we go in for athletic physical movements, rather than trying to understand the nuances, the ins and outs of every move that we make. Our brains and nervous systems are incredibly resourceful. Rather than overwhelming them with analytical information, we should arm them with performance-based data, such as the way it feels like or what we see when doing the action we are trying to learn. The optimum way to perform athletic actions is to do them as naturally and automatically as possible. This cannot be achieved if you are trying to overanalyze every movement that you make. When you reach the stage of being able to perform a skill or action automatically in a sport, you're on to a winning formula and are then able to move confidently on to the next level of your performance. This should be one of your main goals of training and is often thought of as one of the defining characteristics of a true athlete. This is how I overcame the big problem of skills acquisition and became an expert in any sport that I set my body and mind to, and it is how you can too. In this chapter, we're going to go over the basics of how our bodies learn physical skills. Think of it as your introduction to the way that an athlete's brain, such as yours, works, and as your guide on how to evolve in any sport through the use of motor skill learning.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?